Look at these two. One is locked inside armor so tough it can survive a bite that would snap bone. The other is completely soft. No shell, no spines, nothing but bare skin. You'd think the soft one is the prey, the loser, a snack waiting to happen. But it isn't, because that soft, defenseless body hides a brain smart enough to open jars, solve puzzles, and vanish in a blink. And the armored one? It bought its safety at a price you'd never expect. Nature had a choice to make with every animal in the ocean. Build a shell or stay soft. And the path each one picked reveals one of the most brilliant trade-offs in all of evolution. So why do some creatures get armor and others don't? To understand armor, you have to go back to a war. A war that's been raging in the ocean since almost the dawn of life itself. In the earliest seas, being soft was fine. Almost nothing could hurt you. But then, everything changed. Predators showed up, and they were hungry, and they were getting clever. Claws learned to crush, teeth learned to grind. Some hunters even learned to drill, boring a hole straight through a shell to eat the animal alive from the inside. So the prey did the only thing it could. It built a wall, a shell, then a thicker shell, then spikes on the shell. And every time the prey added armor, the predators hit back harder. Stronger jaws, sharper drills, more force. The prey answered with more armor. The predators answered with more power. This is an arms race with no finish line. It's been escalating for hundreds of millions of years, and it's still going right now, on the reef off your nearest coast. Every shell you've ever picked up on a beach is a piece of armor forged in that war. So armor is the answer, right? Build the thickest wall, win the game. Except the ocean is full of creatures with no wall at all, and they are not losing because armor is never free. Every shell comes with a cost, and that cost is far bigger than you'd think. First, armor is heavy. Carry a wall on your back, and you can't move fast. You can't squeeze through gaps. You can't reach far. Your whole world shrinks. You crawl instead of flying through the water. But that's not the worst part. A hard shell can't grow along with the body inside it. It doesn't stretch. So to get bigger, the animal has to do something insane, shed its entire shell. Think about that moment. The animal peels off the very shield that's kept it alive. For hours, sometimes days, it's naked, soft, nothing between it and the world. A whole life spent building armor for defense, and then comes a moment when it lies completely exposed, waiting for a new shell to harden. That's the deadliest moment of all. Countless armored creatures don't die from having no armor. They die in the instant they take it off. So the wall is both a shield and a prison. It keeps you alive, but it chains you down, slow, heavy, and helpless at the exact moment you need it most. And that's why some creatures did the unthinkable. They looked at their armor and threw it away. Back when the ocean was young, one line of creatures carried a shell just like everyone else. They could have played it safe. Thicker walls, sharper spikes, slow and steady. Instead, they ditched the shell. And it was the most reckless gamble in the history of evolution. Throw away your shell, and suddenly you're naked in an ocean full of teeth. No wall, no spikes, nowhere to hide. Every predator can reach you now. It should have been a death sentence. But the opposite happened. That very nakedness forced this creature to get smart. With no wall to hide behind, you have to think. You have to be faster than your prey. You have to outwit the hunter. You have to disappear. And so, in place of a hard shell, this creature forged a weapon no ocean had ever seen: a brain. This is the octopus. Its body has no bone and no shell left at all, soft enough to pour through a gap the size of a coin. It changes the color of its skin in a blink, melting into the reef like it was never there. It twists open jars to reach the prey inside. It carries coconut shells across the seafloor and reassembles them into a mobile shelter, a boneless animal using tools, something we once thought only the smartest minds could do. The animal that could have chosen armor doesn't need it anymore. It doesn't block the attack. It's simply not there when the blow lands. And the octopus isn't the only one bold enough to throw away its shell. One creature went even further. A small sea slug that once carried a shell too, and dropped it. But it didn't choose intelligence. It chose a stranger weapon: poison and color. Instead of hiding, it wears the brightest colors in the ocean, not to look beautiful, but as a warning. swallow me, and you'll regret it. Predators see those colors and back away. It survives not behind a wall, but behind the fear it plants in everything around it. Then there's the one that refused to choose it all, the hermit crab. Too soft to grow its own armor, too smart to go without. So it does something almost lazy and almost genius. It steals one. It finds an empty shell abandoned by something else and moves in. When it outgrows that home, it simply crawls out and upgrades to a bigger one. It didn't win the arms race. It skipped it entirely, renting its armor instead of paying to build it. And then look the other way, at a creature that chose armor and never let go. The nautilus. For hundreds of millions of years, while the entire ocean reinvented itself again and again, it has clung to the same coiled shell, almost unchanged. A living fossil. Proof that the path of armor can last forever too. It just freezes the animal in time, while the rest of the ocean races ahead. Look at them all together. The octopus that traded armor for a mind. The sea slug that traded it for poison. The hermit crab that borrowed its armor instead of building it. And the nautilus that never let go. Four creatures. Four completely different answers. And every one of them still swimming in the ocean today. But intelligence has a price too. And in its own way, that price is just as cruel. Think about it. The armored one is protected, so it's in no hurry. It can grow slowly, live slowly, stretch its life out across decades behind its wall. Time is the one thing it has plenty of. But the naked octopus has no such luxury. In an ocean where any moment could be its last, living slow is suicide. So evolution forces it into a different gamble. Grow fast, get smart early, breed in a hurry, and then die. Not because it's weak, but because it has no time to waste. It burns bright, then burns out. A whole lifetime of intelligence packed into a year or two. It grows smart and dies young. So who's the winner? The armored one, long-lived, but chained inside its own wall? Or the octopus, free and brilliant, but with a life as short as a flash of lightning? And here's the secret evolution keeps hidden. They both win, because evolution was never looking for the perfect animal. It never has been. There's no final upgrade, no summit to reach. There are only trade-offs: armor or speed, a wall or a brain, a long life or a bright one. Every creature in the ocean is just a different answer to the same ancient question. How do you keep from being eaten? The snail answered with a shell. The octopus answered with a mind. And both answers are right, because both are still here, hundreds of millions of years later. So the next time you see a soft, fragile animal and think it's the loser, remember the octopus. Its softness isn't a weakness. It's a choice. A bold bet that paid off. In the ocean, there is no perfect design. There are only 1,000 different ways to survive. And that's exactly what makes life so beautiful. If you want to explore more of the secrets hidden in the deep, subscribe. There's a lot more waiting beneath the surface.